Yeah, look, we're in unprecedented times now.
Yeah.
It could have been an unprecedented moment that they don't end up winning the league. Because crazier things have happened. Crazier things have happened. Coronavirus. Yeah. Crazier things have happened.
Yeah. Listen, like I said, man, if you give them the title like this, that's the Corona title right there.
It is.
Corona title will forever be known as the Corona title.
So another question that I got for you two then is, and for you guys out there as well, is let's presume the season is void. No title to Liverpool. What happens next season, man? Can Liverpool bounce back and win the title again next season? What do you think, Jason?
Nah, man, I don't think they're gonna have another season like what they've had this season.
What's happening, people? And welcome back. Thanks for tuning in. This is episode 32 of Everyone's a Pundit. Yes, man, if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button and don't forget to hit the notification bell. And also, please give us a like. Give us a like that you're happy that we're providing some football content during these quarantine times. Jesus, it's hard times at the moment, boy. It's hard times. But we're here for you and we're going through it. We know you're going through it, so we're just trying to provide that football content for you during these times. If you're not following us on all of our socials, you can catch us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, at Views TV Official. And if you're one of those people that like to listen to podcasts as an audio, we're on Spotify and SoundCloud, Views Football Podcast. Okay, but let me introduce my guys today. I'm joined by the ever-present now. To my right we have...
It's your boy Dashiki Dash, Mr. AKA Dash Active TV.
Yeah, man. And to my left, you don't know already.
Mr. Boom Bam Bing, Mr. Jason Alex, come on.
Come on.
Don't know.
So, man, where do we start? there's not much to talk about, man.
There's plenty, but just all over the place.
It's like there's no football at the moment to watch or not, and it's like I haven't actually turned on Sky Sports to see what they're doing. I think it was Match of the Day on last night, and they had some
top 10 captains thing.
Oh wow,
that's sad. That's how deep it's got.
They're trying their
best.
It's trying to fill that slot, man.
Even Talk Sport is a bit just like they're trying to bring out all these trivia questions and all these like different
Talk Sport for a little while.
Different stuff going on. I
tell you what you find is interesting is Instagram now. The accounts are active with different types of content. Sky Sports,
Premier League one, Champions League one. They're just showing all the greatest goals and everything.
There's everything with different type of content now because there's obviously no football to report.
Apparently they're doing some like FIFA games where they're trying to match up teams. Like
who's doing that?
Spain. Yeah, just like
is it?
Yeah, they're just trying to match up teams. And like a kind of virtual mock-up of like what the teams will be if they played at that time and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, man, the world of the net trying to step up.
People are doing challenges and all that.
Hella challenges.
Have you seen doing the toilet roll?
The toilet roll challenge.
I thought we was doing it now, boy.
We were definitely one of the first ones to jump on that thing though, the toilet roll challenge, because a lot of people thought that we started it. And I was like, no, we didn't start it. We just jumped on. But you know what? Whilst we're here, Jason, I have to give it to you, man. You know, he rose to the challenge. I challenged him because he's not a techie baller. But you know what I mean? He rose to the challenge. And he managed to do it.
I think I rose above it, to be fair. Because I done it with sliders.
You rose to the challenge.
I done it with sliders.
You didn't do a clean 10 though.
Doesn't matter, I done it with sliders. What did you say on your post about sliders?
What did I say about sliders?
What did you say? I tried it.
I can't remember.
I tried it, but I couldn't do it. I done it. You get me?
The thing is, how many attempts did you have?
Oh, so I'm not doing it first time. Come on. I'm not gonna do it first time. A couple of attempts.
So I attempted the once, and then I was like, let me leave this slide.
Why you try more?
The challenge was to do 10 kick-ups with the toilet roll, and man just surpassed that with with ease, you get me? So anyway, we done the thing. But I'm giving you your props, man. You did it. I didn't think that you could even do 5, and you managed to do 10. What was it 10 or 9 that you did? I can't remember.
10 or 9? 9?
But anyway, look, I'm giving you your props because I'm saying you didn't start doing boxing.
Yeah.
He remixed it.
I remix it. I mean,
Hey, the Tekken's no point though. The Tekken's no point still.
Watching AJ Fury and them man there, you know. No Wilder.
Man put up the 6, was it the 12-pack roll? Yeah. It's like doing his boxing.
I had to show that, you know, I was one of those who just in the shops taking all the toilet rolls. They weren't me.
Oh gosh. So anyway, if we're gonna get into some football, one place I wanted to start was what do we think is going to happen with the rest of this season? Do we think the season will finish? Boys, what do you think, man? I want to know you lot's opinion. Jason?
I can't see it finishing, to be honest with you, man. I just think it's too much has happened for it to just go back to finishing how many games? 10 games left?
Yeah, 19.
And they talk about playing it behind closed doors, but I think it's going to take a while. Like, even when the government says, like, you know, it's kind of calmed down, it's going to take a while for it to get back to normal. So are people really going to be wanting to be coming out to football games? You get me? You know, will the authorities even let that happen? Even if people wanted to, because they talk about playing behind closed doors, but to me that's dead. You get what I'm saying? So for me, I just think I can't see it finishing.
So you think season done?
Yeah, I think it's done.
Man, do you know what? In the last couple of weeks, we've seen that. I think the biggest, show for us is that the players and managers and staff are not immune to this. So
players are dropping down left, right, and centre. So boy, I see Dybala has got it for Juventus. Fellaini's got it.
Maldini, I don't know if it's junior, but the Maldini's son, he's just got it
both
as well. Yeah, they both got it. So it's just showing you that this thing is not just, fans are getting it, or you want to, tell the fans to stop going to the stadium and playing behind closed doors. Players can do it, so can get it. So what happens is, say if you have a fixture of games for the weekend, and then it's 2 or 3 teams get struck down with the virus, then you're gonna have to postpone the games again, revisit everything, and there's just too much going on right now, and we're really in the unknown in what this virus, when it's gonna calm down, when is it gonna stop, is it gonna stop? But I don't think it's gonna be possible to continue.
There's always gonna be obstacles, man.
Yeah.
No matter what they try.
And also like training as well. When do the players go back to train?
Well, it's next. Arsenal's back Tuesday.
So this is the key thing, though. How can they go back to training? Because you're meant to be self-isolating.
Yeah.
You're meant to be staying at home. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because, and shout out to Jeff. We was on Twitter. Jeff is always having a go at me about something on Twitter. He don't like to agree with nothing I say. But we was talking about this, and I hold my hands up. At the beginning, I said I thought that this would blow over within a couple of weeks, and he was like, "You think it's gonna blow over in a couple of weeks?" No. I don't mind admitting when I'm wrong. I was wrong.
I think we're looking you're hoping that you get to the summer period where your cold flu season kind of goes down, dies down, should I say, and then get into more warmer weather where the virus might die out. But then it's like the back end of it, there's just too much going on. The virus isn't going anywhere. There isn't no vaccine as we know at the present moment now, so it's not a case where the FA can really give you the 30th of April football resumes. So I
think they were saying that I read that they've said the 30th of April, right? So that gives them something to work towards, rather than saying like the 30th of May and then saying, oh no, we can start earlier. They'd rather, because I don't think none of them really believe that this thing is going to start.
Because what was the first date?
3rd of April.
3rd of April, 3rd or 4th of April.
Yeah.
Then they push it to the 30th. But I heard that they're giving it up. So from the 30th of April, and they're going to give it up until I think
30th of June. I saw before. If the season's not completed by the 30th of June, then season's lock off. So for me, that already I agree with what you guys are thinking, because 30th of April, May, June, it's 2 months, But as you said, it's how long is it going to take to get back into the swing of things, players' fitness, the confidence to go to games.
Also, you got to think about it this way: what about what the Premier League's about? The advert for the Premier League or other leagues as well. It's like you can't just try to finish the league for the sake of it. The product still needs to be maintained of a high degree. I know that there's a lot riding on this, and I feel like it's just a case where the Premier League at the present moment, and maybe other leagues who want to push on and continue with the resumption of the leagues, is that the money aspect to it. Money aspect to it. There's a lot of money that's just going to be.
But I think what we're seeing now is football aside it's affecting everything, and the money aspect in everything is gonna cause a huge problem going forward. And I don't think it's just the Premier League. I think it's the Premier League and all other leagues and world sport that would want to try and get back to the way things were as quickly as possible. But for me now, the reason why I'm now thinking to myself, boy, you know what, I don't think that this league is gonna finish, is because you're seeing a lot of this stuff now with the 3 months. Like the government are talking about, mortgage payments, 3 months, holidays. We're gonna back you this free, everything, and
it's pretty much like 3-4 months.
Everything seems to be going down this 3 month, 3-4 month line. That then makes me think, like, do these lot know something that we don't know, or what they're saying is that it takes this long to get everything back to normal, like keep it under control? And
I think it's just a hope that when you get to the period of the year where there is less cold, flus, and maybe this virus in itself, when it dies down, is when you can have a better picture of what's going on. Because at the present moment, nobody knows. Nobody knows what's going on in regards to how strong this virus is. And then also you got to understand is like, seeing that there's no cure vaccine, we're talking about next season. What about next season? If we're so hell bent on trying to finish this season, what about next season?
What happens next season?
Are we preparing for next season? Are we preparing for sports in 2020?
Because the thing I read was about them just starting the season like week break and then going right back into the next season. I don't see how that works. Because then they raised the point as well that you did about players' contracts, transfers, all of that stuff is where it gets where it starts to get tricky, because they talk about you need to be able to release trigger the release clause in players' contracts and all of that stuff.
Transfer windows, you need enough time to make the transfers happen. June is the cut-off point. It could not go past June. It just logistically it won't go past June.
And then you need to also know what league you're going to be in. So for them teams that are trying to get promoted, that are tinkering with relegation, even teams like us that are trying to get into the Champions League and all of that stuff, you don't know what I won. So it's a big mess.
I think it's one of them ones where, due to circumstances, and we've never, in our lifetime, we've not been in this type of situation. Sports has not been in this type of situation in our lifetime. You're gonna have to accept, what is not the norm, and the norm is that the league has to be restarted.
Yeah, it's avoid it.
Yeah,
the season's void.
Saying void the league. Void the league, Jay.
Yeah.
You know what? Before, when this was first like a possibility that this thing could get voided, it was just like so much banter. I was thinking the banter that's going to be thrown at Liverpool.
The banter will still be there.
I'll be honest though, at the moment, I'm not even thinking about bantering. Man, just want football back in it. But
have you seen the memes like we'll take a Newcastle Burnley?
What?
We'll take a Newcastle Burnley Sunday
game.
Game.
Yeah.
Any day, any type of football.
I think. I'm sure that the banter will still be there when all the dust is settled. But I don't know, man. Voiding it's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy. But we all start again.
Drastic things for drastic measures.
Did you lot see that thing on Sky Sports with Darmesh? What's the other guy?
there was the four of them and they were trying to get onto Darmish and he was
See the points he was making?
He was making some good points, man.
What was he saying? I think I missed that.
He was basically saying, because they were all like, basically, one of the ladies said, why not take, because they were saying not everybody's at a level like with the games, take a game off everybody and then play from there. And he's just like, nah. He's like, he was basically saying, like, if Man United are trying to go for the Champions League sort of thing, then what's to say that they can't get there, and then other teams that are behind them, and just saying at the end of the day, Liverpool haven't won the league.
I think it's because they're 25 points ahead. It makes it so easy for you to come to that assumption like, oh, straight away Liverpool wins it. But there's a trickle-on effect. There's other clubs in the league.
That's what I'm saying. You can't say
Liverpool are part of the Premier League, so.
Yeah, exactly.
He was talking about the relegations as well. I need to try and find.
You can't give Liverpool the league, but then say there's no one that's relegated. You can't have one fact for one end of the league and no facts for the other end of the league. It doesn't make sense.
I think there's this whole thing in regards to trying to do the most for Liverpool or any club that will be in that position, and you got to understand they got to do the greater good. The whole thing to just give Liverpool the league and then not. Teams don't get relegated. Two teams go up.
The thing is, if they give Liverpool the league, the FA or the Premier League, whoever, it's going to cause them more problems than it's worth. Yeah. Because like Darmish said, if they say Liverpool wins the league, then Man United could say, alright, then Man City's ban can stand. We should get 4th place, right?
Because you were saying at the way the standings are at the moment, we get
the 4th. But then Sheffield United could say we've got a game in hand over Man United. We win that, we go above Man United.
That's it. And then Jay, remember
then Villa has got a game in hand over the bottom 3. They're in the bottom 3. If they win that, they come out the bottom 3.
Too much.
So you can't give Liverpool the league. And not, you get me. So it's just.
This is what I was saying last time. I was like, we totally understand, and this is not we don't want Liverpool to win the league situation. We got to look at the bigger picture. What is the implications of just saying, Liverpool win the league, and then the rest of the teams just have to accept what they... So why are you just giving Liverpool one thing and then everybody has to accept?
But I want to know what you guys think, because some people may say that I'm biased because I'm a Man United fan. So let me know in the comments what you guys think about this. About Liverpool being given the title, or should they not be given the title if we don't finish the league? Because me personally, I think it's logical that you can't just give a team the title when the league is not, and it's not like it's mathematically done. You know what I'm saying? If it was mathematically over, then you can have a case to say they should be crowned champions.
It's unfortunate. If they won the 6 points that they needed, and then the league went through what's going on, you could be like, listen, they've won the league already.
They've won the league. They're mathematically.
Unfortunately,
they've still got 6 points that they need to. And look, we're in unprecedented times now. It could have been an unprecedented moment that they don't end up winning the league because. Crazier things have happened. Crazier things have happened. Coronavirus. Crazier things have happened.
Listen, like I said, man, if you give them the title like this, that's the Corona title right there.
It is.
Corona title will forever be known as the Corona title.
So another question that I got for you two then is, and for you guys out there as well, is let's presume the season is void. No title to Liverpool. What happens next season, man? Can Liverpool bounce back and win the title again next season? What do you think, Jason?
Nah, man, I don't think they're going to have another season like what they've had this season. I think you're starting to see it. It's starting to take its toll on the team. They're losing games now.
This is the thing that I was thinking.
They're losing games. For them to do what they did again. And I think a lot of teams are probably mastered how to play against Liverpool now to a certain extent. So it's not going to be as easy for Liverpool to go to teams and just brush them over like they've been doing. So I personally don't think...
I don't think they've been brushing teams for a little while now.
Yeah, but at the beginning they were.
In the beginning,
and I don't think that's not going to happen, so...
I don't even think throughout the season they have been brushing teams like they did
last season. Yeah.
I think this season it has been one of those ones, and I've got one of my good friends who's been a Liverpool fan, and he was been saying it for the longest, like... He's not seeing the same Liverpool that he saw last season.
Well, look, your Firmino, Salah, and Mane, they've not scored as many goals as they did last season. You know what I mean? I'll be interested. You know, let me go and get them stats.
But at the same time, it's just, you know, the rest. What does this mean for the rest of the clubs now that they've seen Liverpool just fly away with the league like this? They're not gonna have that. You know, they're gonna step up. So it's gonna be very difficult. And where's the players' mindset gonna be?
I think. Just imagine, man. They've put into this season, nearly going like unbeaten run and talking about quadruple and everything. And look, like what Jason said, it's slowly started eating away at them, and they've started to lose their way. We're now down to them just winning the Premier League, and it was at one point talking about them being invincible, winning the quadruple, then it was winning the treble, then it was winning the double. Now it's just the Premier League. To then bounce back next season after knowing that you would have won the league and then it's been voided due to something that's out of everybody's control, that's going to take a lot to bounce back from. Man. And then with the added thing that a lot of people who have thought that Liverpool are where they are this season because Arsenal in transition, Tottenham in transition. Arsenal and Tottenham both sacked their managers. Yeah. Leicester were like second for the longest time. You know what I mean? Man City weren't the normal.
Even
Man
I
City.
thought Leicester might be able to push Liverpool.
Yeah, remember me and you going backwards and forwards.
Man.
But it's been a bit weird. Like even Man United, and then now we're starting to get into some form in the second half of the season. Ollie's finding his way. We've got a few players. So next season, when Ollie's had his team properly now, and he can go in the market if depending on what happens. Arsenal as well, new manager Arteta can get in the market and have a full thing. Spurs.
One thing I will say though, they probably won't get like another 25-point lead like the way they've gotten now, but I reckon they'll still be able to push. They'll still be a very formidable force, but it's just like they're never gonna run away with it like that again. But it's crazy for Liverpool, man. You just keep thinking about it. You just thinking, how 30 years? That's like you grafted in a club, trying to get that girl's number, and then the brethren just come and say, yeah, we're going home.
30 years to win a league and this happens, you don't get it.
And you don't get
it.
It.
Like Bruce Grobbler, boy. Man, I don't know what sort of voodoo man you've been dealing with.
Too much pee in there.
Yeah, voodoo man you dealing with, boy.
Man just needed a couple of jobs, man.
He splattered the
whole thing. Overdone it.
No, because this is some different type of jinx, boy.
It's
some
mad.
different type of jinx.
It's mad.
30 years of hurt.
And when you finally
get
your
to grasp, it's there.
No.
6 points. 6 points, bro.
Can taste it. But can you feel it? Can you feel it, Liverpool fans? Can you hold it? Oh man, they've all booked their parades and everything. Lord have mercy.
Right, mate.
I would have gone, you know.
Yeah, I know you was going.
I would have gone.
I couldn't let myself go and party with him. So I'm happy now, boy. I'm happy. Void the thing, man. Just void the thing, man. Start again next season.
Nah, we definitely got to start again.
I
believe so. Yeah.
All right.
Start again.
Oh, so if we're saying Premier League done, then that obviously means that there's no Europa League, no Champions League, everything locked off, everything done.
Yeah, well, I said it with the Europa League. I said the fact that it would take for them to move the Championship to the following year. But the main thing about that was for all the leagues across Europe, they would need to pay. It would be a financial thing in regards to moving that, and as we see, money talks, man. So it's a situation. It's allowed the Premier League and other leagues to be able to exhaust or try to use the dates that are remaining, and if they can't make it, then yeah, unfortunately. But it's sad. We want it to happen. We want it to continue. We want to see football, sports, but listen, man, we're dealing with a different.
I'll be honest now. I think with what's happened now with the league, with everything that's going on now, if the league does start again on the 1st of May, for example, it's not going to be the same.
I was going to say that. How would you feel for it? Like,
it's not going to be the same.
Especially if it's played behind closed doors as well.
Yeah.
Oh, if it's played behind closed doors, then definitely it's done.
It, yeah.
But even if it was fans going to games and stuff, there's still been this this big hole inside of it because of the coronavirus and everything. It's just disrupted the whole
100%.
the whole feel of everything. Do you know what I mean?
It won't be the same.
There's definitely going to be a grey cloud for the last 9 games that we have to play.
Yeah, of course.
And then we just got to understand the severity of what this is. Like I said, no player, no manager is immune, and it takes a lot to get a game going. You got the teams, the staff, the TV crew, just the people, the stewards. There's a lot involved. And
people might be still recovering.
There you go. So
true.
You don't know what's going on with this virus. We don't know how it's going to die down. We've not seen any true examples from countries like China that had it first and how they've been dealing with the situation. So how are we expecting the league? I know it's a situation. We're so used to our normal lives and sports and everything that we do. It's just unthinkable to think that that this ain't gonna be.
I think if we just think about it logically, this is a global virus, epidemic, pandemic, whatever you call it. So it's only natural to think that this is gonna take a few weeks,
Weeks, whew.
Months or whatever. Yeah. But yeah, that's what I mean. It's gonna take some time. But
it's just
all right. Well, we need to move on now, Mr. Dashiki Dash. So the next point we'll move on. The season's done, but let's reflect on how the season has been up until now. Let's reflect. So there's a couple of questions I wanted to ask you, man. Who do you think has been the surprise package of the Premier League so far?
I think that's quite easy.
It's quite easy, isn't it?
I would say Sheffield United. I think Wilder's done a tremendous job with his team. A lot of people were quite, iffy about the way his style, especially the way, he just went out on TV and he just exposed Henderson and wasn't really sugarcoating like how poor he was.
That was proper interesting now at the beginning of the season.
You're thinking to yourself, well, like, who's this guy?
Yeah.
But obviously he knows his players. He's a proper, Sheffield United guy as well. So he's really taken his team to the promised land and he's done really well, man. I rate him highly, even to the point where you are then considered for like top jobs like Arsenal's and other stuff like that. Just shows you how well he's done. And man, ratings.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
I think I had them down to be relegated, didn't I? I think
I'd have to go back to the beginning.
I think I had them down to be relegated.
But that's not even a wild shout, man.
Yeah,
That's not what I've
seen.
seen. This
not wild at all.
I don't really know Sheffield United. Like, I see their games, but I don't really watch them that much. But I know they're one of them hard to beat teams, and they've done really well. I sometimes think to myself, are they that good, or is the Premiership that bad? Hence why they've done so well.
I've watched them a few times, and I've watched them 2 times now against Arsenal, and I would say that they're well organised. They've come to the Premier League and they've organised themselves and they've made themselves hard to beat. I think if you're in the Premier League and you make yourself hard to beat at home as well, and then you can go and get the points away from home, it will allow you to push on. And you could be right in terms of other teams, because we've seen it where Arsenal, Man United, your Chelsea is where we're at now, your Spurs is, but they've capitalised. The Leicesters, they've capitalised. So there's you can't sleep on the Premier League, man. Prem de la Prem, you can't sleep.
So we said it was an easy one, but can't Leicester argue as being a surprise package this season? Considering they were second for a long period of time, they're still they're third now.
I think it's easier to look at Sheffield United and be like, oh, a surprise package. Leicester obviously being former champions, and you're kind of expecting. And
do we know?
Yeah, it's not
I'm not really surprised.
I'm not surprised.
No,
you're not surprised.
No,
Leicester.
No.
Yeah,
I wouldn't.
Not since they won the league. No.
But that win in the league was a fluke.
Maybe so, but they've been since
they ain't done nothing since they nearly got relegated. That's why they sacked their manager.
What Brendan Rodgers came and showed was, if you just stick to the ethos of the club. So the other managers that came after Ranieri tried to change it up a bit. Even Shakespeare was doing similar things as Ranieri, but he wasn't a household name. So they booted him out. But that the guy that came from Southampton, I can't remember his name.
Hansen?
No, there was a French guy.
Oh, what was his name?
I forget his name. He tried to switch it up. And he tried to change the game. So it's one of them ones where it's like, Brendan Rodgers has come there. He's established. He's got Vardy ticking again. He's got other players playing around him and supporting him. He's got, you know, Barnes is scoring goals as well. He's got a few of the younger lads that are coming through.
Talk about Claude.
Yeah.
And so it's not something that I'm actually shocked about.
They've got a decent squad, Leicester. They've got a decent squad. It's just they just needed the right manager to get them where they were when they won the league, and obviously they found him. Obviously they're not going to win the league this season, but
definitely,
you know, they have found a guy that's got that team playing how they should be in with. You know, it's showing how good they actually are. They've got a good striker in Vardy.
You get Vardy scoring goals, you know what I mean? It's someone that can get, what is he, top goal scorer? I think he's got 17 or 18 goals.
I don't think he's top anymore. I think about my blood.
No, because he just scored the 2 goals in the last game. The last game that they played, he scored 2 goals. So that took him to 17.
Consider what Leicester have gone through. I mean, they lost their owner.
Oh, shame.
Yeah.
Vardy's number
That's
one.
what I'm saying.
They lost their owner.
So what was their last game then?
He scored. I think he scored 2.
2?
Yeah.
Oh,
him and
man,
that young kid scored 2 each, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
It was like a 4-0 or
Was
something.
it against Villa or something like that?
Yeah. So it just shows you, if you got a player that's scoring you like 17 goals already in the season, it's definitely going to push you up the league. Yeah. So it's no surprise in regards to.
I'm not surprised by Leicester. I'm not surprised by them.
Cool. No, I do agree with you, man. No one could have foreseen or expected Sheffield United to be where they are, and they were still pushing for that Champions League, Europa League spots. You know what I mean? So
I think the biggest surprise, if we're talking about surprises, is the fact that you've got Arsenal, Man United, Chelsea, Spurs all battling for seemingly the 4th spot.
Well, let's speak for yourselves. Because you lot are the ones that are trying to chase.
So what
we're there, man. We're there. We're there, man. We're in the Champions League spot right now. Huh?
Where?
In 5th.
Nah, mate. That's
Champions League football,
that's not solidified.
Champions League football.
That's not solidified.
Man. As I said, you lot had to sack your managers. You lot have been the biggest surprises in that sense.
Okay.
The fact that
you lot have been dissing Ollie and saying, "Oh, Ollie, he needs to go."
You was close to saying Ollie out.
Yeah. But we've turned it for our problems.
Yeah, but we ain't sacked our manager. And everybody thought that Ollie would be sacked by Christmas.
But you sacked your manager at one point.
Not this season.
Yeah, but you sacked him what? When did you get Ollie?
We're talking about this season, Dash.
Yeah, but of course we sacked our manager because we needed changes.
Exactly.
You already made your changes.
Exactly. So we're talking about the biggest, because no one could have foreseen Emery getting sacked this season.
I could.
Nah, definitely we could see it.
Bro. He was gone, bro. What? He was gone, bro.
From last season.
Last month he was out.
He went
to the last one. Yeah, bro.
He was already struggling.
But the thing's still happening with you lot. You lot got knocked out by Olympiacos and stuff. So it's still all murky over there at the Emirates, and it's murky over there at White Hart Lane as well. They've brought in the golden one. What's his name? Jose or something.
The humble one, as Pat was saying.
Yeah. And it's all murky over there as well.
Nah, but I mean in a sense, just like you wouldn't really get a season where, you know, the big hitters, you know, your Arsenal, Chelsea, Spurs, all trying to push for. If it wasn't for the, you know, what's going on with the City, it would be literally going for that top 4 position. You know, 4 big teams. So that's a big surprise for me anyway. So.
But if we check it, that's what it's been for the last few seasons anyway. No one ain't really been challenging for the league. Last season it was a 2-horse race. Season before that, it was, who won it the season before that? That was Man City won it, and that's when United come second. And that weren't even a 2-horse race. That was a 1-horse race. The rest of it was. So I'm saying, so it's been that way for a little while. You know, that you're chasing the top 4 sort of spot. Yeah. That's what I said. What it is that you lot have been like tinkering in. You lot have been like in the bottom half of the table for a lot of this season.
For us, it's been.
So that's what I mean by at least Man United have been able to keep themselves there or thereabouts, even with all of our problems. But anyway, Ollie's out the wheel, innit? Mande's back in the Ferrari now. He's got the new body kit on.
Oh, boy.
You get me?
The spoiler.
Yeah, the new rims. You get me?
They're spinning.
They're spinning. We ride spinners.
God.
And he's got the R&B music in there, and he's just cruising.
What season is this? What episode is this? 32?
32.
Yeah, we'll just mark that down.
So actually, who do you guys think has been the player of the season so far?
I don't know, man.
It's a tough one.
I think a lot of hype has been given to your what's the Aston Villa player? Grealish and the Leicester player.
Morrison.
Is it Morrison?
No, you're talking about Maddison. But
Madison
ain't been performing for a hot minute.
I think those are the two players that were just, the names are out there. But I don't know who's really been stand out.
I tell you one, Pastor Fred. Man like Frederick. You know what? You lot won't know because you don't watch Man United games. Exactly. Yeah. You can sip on your water. You sip on your water. But I tell you what, Fred started
the player of the season, or what are you saying?
Yeah. Let me explain. Because you can come up with nobody else.
Yeah, because they ain't really. You can't say the season. The season.
Yeah. Fred at the moment. Dead Fred.
That's what you lot were calling him.
Not me.
Oh, okay.
Not me. You can go back through every single episode. Not me, boy.
Okay.
I've been backing Fred. Fred started off the season as a bench warmer, and now he is blatantly one of the first names on the team sheet. He's giving you an 8 out of 10 every single week, and he has been. It was at one point where he was our only midfielder, and he was still holding the fort. He's had solid games for the last 15, 16, 17 games. Literally. I'm not even exaggerating.
No, I don't watch him week in, week out.
I'm not exaggerating. Yeah. He has not had he had one bad game recently, and that was probably the first game in God knows how long. He's played every game. His energy. I'm telling you, Fred, and he's won a lot of people over.
From what I've seen, from the games I've seen, and what I get from Fred is he's definitely improved. If you say the most improved player, then I can accept that. But if you're saying that your nomination as the player,
for me, he's Man United's player of the season.
Oh, okay.
For me, he's Man United's player of the season. And then if I go through the list of, you go through Liverpool, who's really standing out for Liverpool this season? Nobody.
No one, really.
Nobody. You can't give me anybody.
No.
So
okay. Trent.
Yeah. Is he standing out this season?
Trent is definitely.
His numbers ain't what they were last season.
Go and check.
Let's go and check.
They're not though. You got your Trent. You got your Mane. I think those are the usual suspects.
These lot aren't standing out more than they were last season. They're not doing.
No, we're talking about this season, isn't it?
It's hard. I'm trying to think of who.
Let's go. But this is what I'm saying. You forced that one there. You stood there and you was like, I need to get something out.
But it's
Trent.
Because Trent is, you would consider him as a young player the season. He would definitely be going up for that award.
See, and then you look at City, who's standing out. Kevin De Bruyne, I think, is for City is stood out. So if somebody was to say KDB, I'll be like, yeah, I hear that. Do you know what I mean? And Leicester, no one's not really standing out. Yeah. Leicester, Chelsea, I was thinking Chelsea. Anybody really standing out?
Mason Mount, a bit.
No, Mason, he's only just starting to play again now. He had a long period where he wasn't playing. You know what I mean? Abraham had his little rally and then he's fallen off. So I
don't think anybody's been real standout. To be fair,
I can't think of anyone, to be honest.
Mane's 14 goals, 7 assists. Those stats are sick, to be honest. And Trent's 12 assists, but Trent's just a midfielder anyway.
I think if we go to Arsenal, I'll say Saka for us.
Saka's been cold.
Definitely been cold. He's definitely taken that position in as his own. He's taking his chances. We see Martinelli, definitely one for the future for us. I would definitely try and push for him to play as a number 9 rather than playing at the wing, but maybe maybe he needs time to obviously play out on the wing, kind of that Henry, and then move him into the middle a bit. Those are probably the 2 players I would say.
See, Mane scored 22 goals last season, 14 this season. So he's going backwards. I think you just look at all of their stats, Firmino and Salah. I think if you check all of them, they're behind.
If you're comparing it to last season, I don't think anybody's really been stand out.
But then you'd hear a lot of people that will talk about Henderson being the player of the season. So it's not always about assists and goals. This is what I'm saying. It's about your importance to a team. And for me, Fred has been the pinnacle of everything that's been good with Man United in recent weeks. Before it was Rashford that was doing his thing, but even in that time, without Fred, we were finished. Because Fred was the only man there. We had no Matic, no Pogba, obviously Herrera gone.
What about McTominay?
McSauce has been doing well. But I'm telling you, before McSauce got injured, you know, I remember Rio was on BT Sports talking about him being, you know, one of United's best, and I'm saying he had a lot of below par games. He had a lot of below par games. You know what I mean? Fred has not had below par games. Fred has been steady all season. I guarantee you, he's 8 out of 10 every single game recently.
But sometimes it shows you like certain players they start playing well once the team starts playing well, you know. Because even Matic now.
Matic is getting a new contract now.
There you go.
And I'll be honest, I was like out the door. He's got. Everyone thought he's gone in January. Now we're like, sign the thing, Matic. He's been playing well.
Sometimes it helps.
But I think I've said this many times before. Anyway, I've played football, and I don't care what anybody says. The best players look like the best players because the best players play in the best teams, and the best teams win most of the time. Do you know what I'm saying? You're not going to be the best player playing in a crap team for too long. Yeah, you can be good and look good in a bad team, but the majority of the time you're playing with better players, and that's why you perform better.
But at the same time as well, when you are a player that's playing in a good team, you need to be consistent with it. You know what I mean? And we've seen that with Sterling as well. You know, no matter how great the Man City's team is, you've got to keep up. You know what I mean? You've got to be consistent.
Yeah, but Man City's levels have dropped now, and therefore you can see Sterling's levels have dropped, and I think it's inevitable when your team is struggling. Like I even go like, you've got people that when there was the whole Pogba thing last season, and I had certain Man United fans that were getting onto Pogba and talking about Pogba, don't do this, don't do that, and then they would bring Steven Gerrard into the mix. So everybody thinks like Gerrard is the pinnacle of central midfielders in England. Yeah. When you go back and you look at Gerrard's stats over a season. In the modern game now, you would think these are average. They're average for a season. But then if you check it, what was Liverpool doing? They weren't challenging for titles. They weren't winning. They would win the odd league cup. Then they would get to the Champions League on one seat or whatever. Yeah. But for a course of a season, they were not challenging. So then I'm thinking to myself, his stats reflected what his team was capable of doing. You know
it was definitely limited. I reckon if Gerrard had the players around him,
exactly,
he would have been.
If Gerrard was playing in a Chelsea team that was winning the league every season, then his stats would be like Lampard's stats.
Equally to the fact that if Pogba had the players around him as well, I reckon he would be.
I'm not saying no more.
No,
I'm not saying
no more. I truly believe that because we've seen someone mentioned this to me as well, like, oh, his stats is better at Man United than it was at Juventus. But you can see the different players that you have around you can really affect how you play. You know what I mean?
Now there's talk about Pogba wanting a new contract, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not surprised because he's been looking at the project of Man United and probably been thinking, you man are moving different. Now we've gone and signed Bruno. And then he might be hearing talks in this. We're looking to sign this player in this space. We're really thinking, okay, this is the team that I want to be playing for now. Do you know what I mean? Who knows? No one knows.
Bruno definitely transfer of January though.
Yeah, transfer the season, I think.
Yeah, you're happy with it, mate.
I'm not gonna say anything. You think of the season?
So who else has come in?
No. I'm just saying, innit?
No, I'm asking you because you wanna. I'm asking you.
If you could be right,
I'm not making these wild shouts. Right. There's always logic behind what I'm saying.
No, listen. He's definitely been an impactful player, and it's
100%.
It's 100% what you need in January. If you're going to buy a player in January, you need.
That's what you need.
You need that Arshavin style of. That's going to come.
Did you buy Arshavin in January? Oh, is it?
For that 6 months that he did his thing.
And he did his thing. Sort of like what Bruno's doing.
Maybe not on par, but
you know what? I don't remember what Arshavin did. I was just asking.
Ooh, he was cold, but yeah, man, you needed that. But you lot have been crying for that type of player, though.
No, we have.
It doesn't take a genius.
But you say that, and somebody made a good point. It was Rance actually made a good point, and I've actually been saying this as well. Is we've had that type of player.
In who?
Pogba. Pogba can do everything that Bruno can do. If not more. And in the beginning of the season, Oli was playing Pogba in the defensive too.
Yeah.
And then you're wondering why Pogba ain't getting. So they're saying Pogba ain't. You're seeing it. Pogba's not doing this. What did Pogba do today? No goals, no assists. What do you expect? Man's playing in the defensive too.
So what is Fernandes playing in the?
He's like got a little free roll. You've got Fred and Matic at the moment, or when McTominay comes in.
Don't you think? Sorry to cut you. Don't you think it's a situation with Pogba, even if he plays his desirable role, it's just like he could have one good game, 2 bad games, one good, it's not consistent, and then he gets critiqued a lot more than how it would be like Bruno if he came in now and he weren't playing so well. You know what I'm saying? So
I think at the beginning of the season, a lot of our issues is people will talk about people playing for the badge. Yeah. One of the things that no one could criticise the team for, and this is every single player, this is Pogba included, Martial, is that everybody was working, but it wasn't working for. Like when I say working, they were trying, they were running and everything like that, but it wasn't working for us on the pitch. We drew to Wolves in a game that we should have won. We lost to Crystal Palace at home in a game that we should have won. We beat Chelsea, and then we drew away. No, we lost away to Bournemouth. Again, a game that we should have won. We took the lead. So in the early days before Pogba got injured, he wasn't actually playing that badly. He says things weren't ticking for us. We had the penalty situation, and then everyone wanted to jump on that. Yeah. But again, if he scores that and it's all a different thing. So yeah, he gets critiqued a lot, but I think a lot of what people criticise him was stuff that's happened historically. Before he got injured this season, he wasn't playing badly. He was having decent games. Do you know what I'm saying? Then he got injured, and then we ain't seen him again. He's come in for a couple cameos, which he's actually done well in, and then he got injured again, and then we ain't seen him again for a minute.
Be good to see them though, Bruno and Pogba together, bro, playing. So
but how would the midfield look?
So this is it now. Is how do we actually play them all together? This is the conundrum now. Does then Pogba go back into double pivot? With him and maybe a Matic, or him and a Fred, and then you play Bruno there.
It's a good headache to have though, right?
Yeah, this is better, it's definitely better, man. But boy, let us know what you think about those questions there. Who's been the surprise package of the season? Who's been the player of the season so far? Which is, I don't think there's been any standout. I definitely think KDB is in with a shout. Did you say who you think?
I couldn't pick anyone.
Couldn't pick no one.
Yeah, it's hard, man. I think we are clutching a bit at straws, but yeah.
Federico, man. And and who's been, the surprise package of the season as well. So I think we'll wrap up there, man. That's episode 32. Some quarantine entertainment for you. If you enjoyed, hit the like button if you haven't done so already. Also share that with your friends. No one ain't gonna be watching no football. Everyone's gonna be at home with the kids.
Man, I switched on the Nintendo Wii the other
day. Did you?
Yeah, man, brought that just trying to play Mario Kart.
Let us know what you lot are doing to pass the time as well, man, because it's peak.
Yeah, man. It's
peak times. I put a post up on the IG just saying that you never know what you got until it's gone. And boy, there's no football, man. We take it for granted,
Yeah, man. But shout out to, anybody that's suffering with the virus, and wish you a speedy recovery, and all the nurses and doctors, man, that are just out there working tirelessly to help everybody. You are appreciated. So
I feel for them, man, because I've got a friend who works in a hospital, and she's just like, we're at the hospital doing these long shifts, and then when we finish, we go to the supermarket and there's nothing there on the shelf.
It's been outrageous.
There's nothing there on the shelf. So I feel for them, man. But I think a lot of, and I got caught in the hype myself. Originally I didn't, because my sister-in-law and mum-in-law has been telling me to buy supplies from. They got stacked from weeks ago.
I've been like you as well.
And I was like, and then 2 2s now. I'm like, boy, you know what? Man needs to go and get some food.
But what I did was, not just only going to the supermarkets, and I think there's a lot of people that have made this mistake. It's just going to your Sainsbury's, your Asda. Go to the Turkish man down the road as well. They've got them big stores as well.
Yeah,
go
they
there,
got the supplies.
You know what I mean? And support the local businesses as well. You know what I mean? Just do your thing, man. Or spread yourselves out, man. Because if everybody's going to one place, and this is where we're ending up, where all the doctors and the nurses and the people that are helping, you know, when they get off their shift, they can't buy nothing. So it's a good initiative that they've done though. Like they give them like an hour grace.
I don't think that makes a difference. People have been complaining about that still.
Is it even in practical terms? Is it because I heard something about that you was only gonna be allowed 3 items per person, and I've seen that with my own eyes. That ain't happening.
Yeah. I think if they've given them like I know that Tesco's like on Sundays you give them like an hour grace in the morning, and I think like your Sainsbury's are doing 3 days. So it's gonna help because
if they enforce it properly.
No, you so basically as NHS you got to show your badge. You go to the door, you show your badge,
and then you get let in. That's what I think anyway. I do think as the weeks progress, the food side of things will settle down a lot more.
It needs to happen.
You know what I mean? Because everybody's gone and done their bulk buying now. So in the week's time, they ain't going to be shopping the way they were before.
At the same time as well, mate, you lot eat your food as well, though. Don't waste the food. Because you
that's
know,
the thing, half it's going to go to waste.
Yeah, man, please, man,
don't waste your food. You're buying up fruits and stuff. How long can you keep fruits for?
There you go.
I see one guy, and I said, this is how arguments and fights start, because I wanted a pint of milk,
Was it going to be from the store?
Listening, I needed a 6 pint of milk for me and my family, and my man has got 6 in his trolley. Fresh milk. 6 pints.
Where are you going to do that, bro?
6 pints.
You see that?
And then when I went to the shelf, there was no more 6 pints left. So I was on the phone to my mum at the time, and I said, and I was cussing. I said, Mum, this is how the things start, you know, because you got people like they're doing this. Now, don't get me wrong. I know people are buying things for neighbours and stuff like that, but he had 6 in his trolley, and I'm like, you can't have a big family like that. You know what I mean? So lucky enough, anyway, there's still enough milk on the shelf. You know, I just ended up picking up 4 pints in the end, and that was me. And then later on, when I circled back, a lady had filled up the shelf with the 6 pints, so I just picked that up. But I said I can understand because I see people arguing in the store.
I'm just hearing it's just London though, you know. There's people that I've spoken to outside of London. I'm talking about quite outside London, and they haven't been going through this madness the way we have. It's just.
Does that surprise you though? Does that surprise you that it's only London?
Yeah.
You know London, we're a different breed in London.
People need to understand there's not going to be a food drought. There is not going to be a food drought. So why are you buying in bulk?
It's true.
Why are you going to the superstore every day queuing up for hours and then to get in and then
unless they say, oh, this week there's gonna be no supermarkets open, then we understand. But
I tell you what I tweeted today, because it's just getting on my last nerves. I said, listen, I had all them supermarkets, Sainsbury's, Asda, Lidl, Morrison's, Tesco. I said, you lot need to get out, put a giant speaker outside your store and tell the crowd to just do one. Yeah? Go away. The store's not opening today. Go away. That's what I said, bro. Something needs to be done. It's happening every day.
Yeah.
Every day. You wake up early to go there, bro, and there's a queue.
The queue.
I see one shopkeeper online, he's back in his work bay. Because he was pushing the man out the shop, boy.
Serious?
Yeah, the guy was arguing with his colleague and then it got too heat.
Oh, that one. Yeah, I think it was the Iceland one. Yeah, I see that one.
The Honda Sats.
Yeah, I see that one. No, it's just ridiculous, bro. It's ridiculous.
No, be safe, man, and just, yeah, man.
Yeah, I think what it is that everyone's worrying for that time when Boris says, okay, nobody's allowed out your yard.
Yeah, but even
shops are closed.
Yeah, but he's not going to go to that extent, because you are allowed, especially like in Italy, you are allowed to go to the shops.
But 2 people at a time or something like that.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, you don't. How many people do you need in your household?
But then, like you're saying, you're gonna be still allowed to go out and get food, and I think. But anyway, like I say, we're all sheep, innit? You know, you see the crowd doing this, and everybody follow the crowd, and I got caught up in the hype myself, but
no, but you did it because you need it, bro, not because you're bulk buying. That's the difference, bro.
Yeah. I'm picking up food.
You know what I'm saying?
You know, and true say the kids are home now. They're gonna need more food and then.
Mate.
Anyway, man, thank you very much for watching. This is, as I said, your quarantine entertainment. You know, horrible times we're in at the moment, but we just got to try and make the best of a bad situation, and that's why we're still here giving you some football content. And this is Everyone's a Pundit, episode 32. I've been joined here by my man Dash, and Jason, and until next week, man, we are out.
Stay safe.
Peace.
Stay safe, man.
Stay home.
Yeah.